Hello everyone, and today we are here to show you how to make some redstone clocks. So let's just see how many we're working with here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 redstone clocks that you are going to need to know if you want to get into redstone. So the premise of why there's so many different redstone clocks is because let's say you don't have enough materials for a certain thing and you want to build a different kind of redstone clock, or you want to build one that fits a specific surface area. We also have that option as well. So let's start at the beginning here. The first redstone clock we have is a very basic redstone torch repeater circuit. So the premise of it, if you want to build this yourself, is pretty simple. This is actually my personal favorite because it's a 2x3. And it's also not very expensive. You can use this early game because it doesn't require observers. So pretty simple. If I were going to rebuild it, it's just redstone here. This is going into the redstone torch. I set it at 3 ticks just to set it, but it has to be at least at 1 tick. And you can see it's going. And if you want to slow it down, 3 ticks, really slow it down there. And just so you know that it is actually functioning at the end of the redstone clock, we can see that it is pushing and pulling this stink piston. All right. The next redstone clock we have here is a very simple redstone repeater clock. So this one to set up is actually a little more complicated. It actually requires the use of a lever. So the premise of this is actually that you put the current into the system and then the current just stays in the system. This is just meant to contain the redstone current. It's not meant to actually create it. Like here, this redstone torch is creating the current which goes out and around. This one is just containing a current. So what that means is we're going to need to take 2 redstone repeaters, one facing forwards, one facing backwards. We're just going to set it to a 1 tick or to a 2 tick delay, like so. You can set it to more, but yeah, the minimum I would set it at is this because, for example, I'll show you in a second. So we're going to link these up with some redstone dust. Then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to flick this lever and break it really fast. So it's going to look like boink, bang, like that. Once that's done, so let's actually do it in real-time speed. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the issue. I didn't... Yeah, so here's why you have to have it at least a 2 tick, because if you don't, they will just all stay powered. So let's set this to really slow so you can see it. So you can see it's kind of toggling back and forth. Okay, that's another good option. It's a little, of course, it's a little more expensive than this option. And it also covers about the same surface area of a 2x3. This one is probably one that I wouldn't really recommend using, but it's really easy to see the redstone clock working because you can see it starts at the top left and moves down that way. And if we're going to build this, it would be very similar to how we built this one, where you would kind of take your redstone repeaters, make it go in whatever direction you want. I do it clockwise. Set it here, place a lever nearby, and there you go. Awesome. Now that we've got that one done, so the thing is with repeaters are a little more expensive if you're doing early game. What if you need a redstone clock and you just can't afford that right now? You can make one out of redstone dust and redstone torches alone, which is really interesting. However, the downside of using redstone torches is it actually takes up a bigger surface area. Like you can see here, we're dealing with a 3x5 area, which is not necessarily ideal, but you know, if you can't afford it at the time, it's okay to build it like this, and then maybe, you know, shrink it once you get some more materials in your survival world. Now, this one here is involving hoppers. So the reason why you'd maybe want to use this is, let's say you have a system that you want to turn off and on, you want to toggle. Having hoppers is a good way of doing that. Now, how the system works is these 2 hoppers here are passing back and forth a piece of lime wool. It can actually be anything. For example, if I take the lime wool out, let's put in just dirt. The system still works. However, I just used lime wool because that was what I had on hand at the time. So let's just place that back in there. Awesome. So what's happening is the comparator is sensing when an item enters a hopper. So it's respective hoppers. So this one's sensing this one is sensing this one, and it's pushing out a signal. And now comparators usually push out a very weak signal. So we have the repeater here to strengthen the signal. Also, because if you didn't notice about redstone, if you place redstone in a 2x2 area, it actually makes a square. However, if we put a repeater in there, it doesn't connect all the way around, which is what we want in this instance, so we can power that piston. So anyways, comparator, sensing this is increasing the strength and also allowing us to make it a bit of a smaller surface area, and then it is going back around into the piston where they're playing tug of war with this redstone block. So let's just show you how to build this yourself real quick, because some people don't understand the whole hopper thing. What you're going to do is you're going to place one hopper facing down into a block, place another one that's facing into that hopper, break this hopper, place another one there. Then we're going to take our redstone comparators, we're going to place them facing out of both of these hoppers. We're going to take our redstone repeater. You can have it at 1 tick. If you want to slow it down, you can, but it seems kind of pointless to do that. We're going to take our redstone and do 3 pieces of redstone on either side in a bit of a C shape, like so. Once we have that down, we are going to place our sticky pistons that are going to be pushing around our redstone block. Place this however you want. And then we're just going to actually give it something to power so it serves a purpose. I just clicked blue. We're going to do that there. So what's going to happen is this is going to be pushed into here. Once it hits this redstone dust, it'll power this. Let's actually make this a little longer just so you can kind of see it a little clearer. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to place this piece of light blue wool. This will start packing back and forth, and it'll turn on. There you go. So yeah, there's a couple of reasons you'd want to use the system. I believe I explained this already, but if you had a system that you maybe wanted to turn on and off by usage of hoppers, such as a smelting system, or maybe a secret entrance to a base, through an item key, this would be something you'd want to use. However, this is a little expensive. So let's say you don't have the comparators and the repeaters and you want it to be a smaller surface area. You can replace the repeaters with actual just regular blocks. Here I'm just using some green or some lime wool. You could use anything. It doesn't really matter. So what we're doing here, and this is actually great considering that it takes up a actually smaller surface area, considering you don't need these 2 pieces on the outside. So this works the exact same way, but instead of a repeater, we use a block and 1 piece of redstone dust. So you could use this, for example, if you didn't have as much materials, or if you wanted one that could fit into a smaller area. And I would also recommend that if you ever are going to use a hopper system, I'd recommend not using this system if you can, and try using this system, considering it's cheaper, smaller, and more cost-effective, which is cheaper. Here we have the cheapest version of this system. This is just the hopper moving back and forth into a comparator, which is activating this repeater, which is sending it out. So the reason why I have this repeater here is because if we didn't, it is so weak. You can see here, it's only lighting up this 1 piece, and it's not actually hitting the rest of the redstone, which is why we have the repeater, to give it a little bit of a push. Once that's in, there we go, it's working. This one is technically it's this shape, but for all intents and purposes, it is a 2x2 surface area, which is a great passing back and forth piece of redstone dust. So of course, this is the cheapest version of these 3. You can see the kind of evolution there. But this one's just a little more fun, to be honest. Just watching it go. Yeah. Anyways, the next one we have up is a toggleable version of this clock right here. So how we make it toggleable is we give it a power source, which we turn on and off. So right now the system's on. You can see it going. Start it off. All right. Let's turn it back on. For this one, you can have the 2 repeaters set to 1 tick, which is great. And you can see the system is flip-flopping in between the redstone torch and this piece over here. You know what I'm going to do, just so you can kind of visually see the difference. There we go. So we have this one section, and then we have this section here. All right. Now this is actually the fastest redstone clock I could come up with. This is just a basic comparator clock. Now the thing is originally I had all of these attached to redstone lamps. But the thing is that if I take a redstone lamp and attach it here, it just stays on because it's going so fast. The redstone lamp doesn't have time to sense that it's turning off. However, the sticky piston receives little faster updates, as you can see. Yeah, this thing's going crazy. So how do you build this is pretty simple. You just take your comparator, you build a little bit of a circuit behind the comparator. You're going to put a block with a lever on it. What you're going to do is you're going to enable the comparator. You're just going to right-click that little redstone torch to the front. And there you go. It is by far the fastest redstone clock. It's definitely not the cheapest, considering you have to use a comparator. But you know what? Most of these use comparators anyways. This one is definitely, if you want something that goes heckin' fast. I'm pretty sure this is as fast as a redstone clock can be in the game as of current. Here we have the first redstone clock that uses an observer. So what an observer does, in case you're curious, is the observer, let's just grab a piece of glass so I can show you. So the observer senses any changes within this block, within one block in front of it. So just imagine that blue glass isn't there, it's just a placeholder. It senses anything that happens within this block, and if it senses something changing, for example, let's put redstone lamp so you can see if something's placed in front of it, if something breaks in front of it, either or. So what's happening is this observer is noticing that this piece of redstone is being turned on, which puts out a redstone input and goes around the front. So really what we're doing is we're just delaying it, so that way the observer is noticing a redstone input that itself is putting out, but it's at a delay. So it would be like if you talked to yourself and then you heard the echo coming back, and you're noticing the echo, which is causing you to talk again. And for the very last one, we have probably, I believe this is actually the smallest surface area of a redstone clock. It is a 1x3 surface area. So basically what you do to build this one is really simple. You basically get two observers to scare each other repeatedly. If you put them face to face, they're sending out constant redstone signals. And of course you can attach a redstone dust to it and it goes up to a piston. Now, as you can see here, if I'm going to rank them just on pure speed, it would definitely be the comparator is the fastest. And of course, the slowest one in theory is this one here, because I could set it to a full delay. Now let me just... Yeah, this one's by far the slowest. If you need something that's nice and slow. Yeah, overall, if you ever need a redstone clock in survival, I'm pretty sure these are all of the redstone clocks that you will ever need to know. If there are any more that you guys know of or think are useful in your survival worlds or in your creative redstone builds, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, or if you had any suggestions for further redstone videos in the future, please feel free to let me know. Anyways, guys, this has been Emerald, and thank you so much for watching my video. Alright, goodbye, you guys.